Napoli fans around the world, welcome to another crazy edition of Napoli Talk. And sorry, I'm a few minutes late, but this game was crazy, guys. I mean, I couldn't put everything in the analysis of this game because it was just every minute something going on. So I had to make a few selections. I'm a little late. I'm sorry, but I hope it's fine. Hafiz Youssef says, "Come on, Napoli Talk, let's do it. I'm waiting for you to finish because I said that I was going to be a little late." Okay, I'm here, guys. I'm here. And so is Napoli, guys. Napoli is still here, still unbeaten. 9 games now, 9 wins now. This is incredible. Is it 8 wins in this season? Yeah, but it's incredible. Last year we had 9 wins and 1 draw after 10 games. This year we have 8 wins and 2 draws. So technically we had 2 more points last season. But the fact that we had all those great Champions League games in between as well makes the start of this season so much more positive. I think this must be the best start that we've had. Fabrizio Landra says, "Top Napoli, top Kvara and Osimhen." Hi Dom, ciao Fabrizio. Yes, Kvara and Osimhen, but also Chucky Lozano, also Kim. Incredible players, these guys. And yeah, I mean, especially I want to shout out Osimhen and Lozano because they came on at halftime and completely changed the game for us. But I also want to shout out Juan Jesus, who I think was responsible for the first goal, and we'll see it in the analysis, and bounced back immediately and got us the first equalizer. Guys, so many comments. Make sure that you smash the like button, right? Because you know I don't start my analysis until we get at least 100 likes, right? So you got to smash that like button. Even if you're watching when it's not live, smash the like button, guys. And make sure that you comment, that you show your enthusiasm for this Napoli game. I know you guys are like watching this on the big screen, but minimize that and smash the like button and we move on. All right, Luca De Rosa says, "What a Kvara, probably the best game from Kvara so far." I think so. He didn't get on the score sheet, but I think this is his best contribution, and this is showing what a mature player he is. You know, if someone can be so decisive, if you can be the best player on the field and you didn't even score, then yeah, you are something special. Anthony Navarro, "Forza Napoli sempre," but guys, Meret, WTF, he better have a 4.5 today, my man. You know exactly what's in my mind because that's his score. I'm gonna preview. That's his score for Meret, a 4.5. If we had lost the points because of Meret, it would have been worse. But because we still won, 4.5 out of 10. Anthony G says, "Meret making me remember the Calciopoli days." Nah, it's not that bad, man. Come on, he didn't sell the game. Javier says, "The team plays so unorganized when Osimhen is in." No, come on. I mean, yes, there is a little bit more of disorganization, but it's a chaos that gives energy to the Napoli players. It's a chaos that makes the team defending not understand what the hell is going on. And I think part of the reason why we score when Osimhen is playing is because he's so hard to defend against. The enthusiasm and energy and chaoticness that he brings. He's not the cleanest player, but he's efficient, guys. I mean, you can't deny the fact that the kid is efficient. Arsene Lupin says, "Meret on the second goal didn't know what to do between fists and open hands." Yeah, I mean, the ball came on the bounce. It's always super hard to deal with that. And obviously, guys, there's some contributors to the channel. You guys are amazing, helping me out here. Mike Xstad says, "Thank you for helping get tickets. I'm on cloud 9 right now. Grazie, amazing experience and dream come true. Forza Napoli sempre." So my man Mike was at the stadium today. I hooked him up with someone that could help him. Yeah, what a game to go to, right? It's the other team scores first, you draw, then you win, you're starting to win the game, then they draw, then you win. What a crazy game. I think anyone, if you're going to if you're thinking about going to watch Napoli, make sure you do it this year, guys. Take advantage of this team, right? Levan Kvaratskhelia, thank you so much with the $10 donation. I appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts, man. Guys, if you donate money, Please also just write a comment. I wanna make sure that you get your comment read 100%, because while I do try to read everybody's comments, obviously I'm gonna prioritize the ones that just are highlighted a bit more, because I can't read all the comments, unfortunately. But I try to read most of them. Cube says, I think players were a little selfish today in the penalty box. I think there was a mix. I think there was sometimes they could have done a lot more passing. For example, Mario Rui and Di Lorenzo had some moments where they should have passed the ball to the attackers and they went for goal. But I think part of it is they were trying to surprise the goalkeeper. I don't think it was selfishness. I think it was more trying to surprise. Kvara balls are OP, says Lusty OG. Yeah, they're crazy, crazy, crazy. Napoli looks shaky at defense today, says Papa Papa. I mean, yeah, I think we're missing Rahmani a lot. And I think also there's a bit of fatigue creeping in. We also were missing Anguissa, guys. I mean, we talk about the defense, but the first step to defending is your attackers and midfielders. And Anguissa is a guy that he stops things happening before they happen. And we really saw that today. I think and Ndombele didn't have his best game of the season so far. Guys, there's over 100 of you, and I'm not going to start my analysis until we get 100 likes. That's a fact. So if you guys want to see me go through the game, the tactical analysis, the player ratings, you're going to have to smash the like button. This is a two-way street here. Javier Miguel says, guys, it's not that Osimhen is not a world-class player. I just see that Napoli plays so unorganized when he is in. He's so desperate to make the other players desperate. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy football when Osimhen plays. It's crazy. It's almost like, like he's, it's like he's in an anarchy almost. I couldn't find the word, but hey, it works. It works, and he got the goal. He got the winner. We can't debate whether he's efficient or not. I mean, he got the winner in 45 minutes that he was playing. I think it was pretty instrumental for the second goal as well. So it is what it is, guys. Ciao, Dome. Close one. Hope we don't get down on Meret too much. His first poor match. A full week to recharge is good timing for Roma match, says Daniel Bowen. And thank you for the 10-euro donation, Daniel. Daniel, my man, that was close. That was super close, man. And yeah, I think we really need this break. We super need this break. It's so nice to go on a break after such a game, get some rest, get Osimhen back to full fitness. Who knows, maybe get Anguissa at least off the bench against Roma. But really, I think a lot of players need a bit of a break. And it's nice to go into a break in such a good moment of form for Napoli. Payman Dadgar also with the donation says, Zielinski deserves more credit. Lozano was great. Disappointment, not just today. Rui, Jesus, and Meret. I mean, Rui wasn't too disappointing. Jesus got the goal. So we can't really be too harsh on Jesus, even though I think he was responsible for the first one, and we'll analyze it. We just need 14 more likes to go and analyze the game, guys. I know you haven't pressed the like button yet. Yeah, I'm talking to you right now, guy watching it on the big screen. You haven't smashed it, so got to do something about it. But yeah, Meret instead was a bit of a disappointment today. I don't want to go too hard on Meret because he's been great this season. I don't want to knock the guy's confidence. I don't want people to start harassing Meret. I've made a meme about him on my official Napoli Talk Instagram. You guys should go check it out. But we're not gonna go too heavy on that because I just don't want any negativity around the team right now. Let's see some more I'm gonna get 5 more comments and then we'll move on to the analysis because we're almost at 100 likes. So I'm sure they're gonna come in the next few minutes. Let's see. Papa Papa, continuing the whole Osimhen thing, Papa Papa to Javier Miguel says, so you will sell Osimhen and cash out just to hope Simeone and Raspa can win the Scudetto, scoring bangers throughout the season. Thank God you're not part of management. Oof. Guys, keep it nice on the chat, okay? Keep it nice. But hey, everybody has an opinion. There's no right or wrong opinion. because the thing about football is that you can't prove anything. You can't prove that what one guy says will work or not until it's tried. And then when it's tried, you can't really prove the opposite. You know, it's a different timeline at that point. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't sell Osimhen. I think it's nice having three different attackers. You've got Raspadori, who is better at playing clean football. You've got Osimhen, who's more of a chaotic kind of guy. And then you've got Simeone, who I think is the most efficient out of the three, but doesn't offer as much, like 1-2s, doesn't offer as much creativity or energy, but he's very efficient of a player. Jonas Ahlander says, seriously, this kind of game is a difference compared to last season. Napoli didn't walk off with 3 points in these kind of games last season. Now we do. Nothing to write home about, but still, no, dude, there's a lot to write home about. The fact that we got 3 points, whereas last season we wouldn't, that's huge. That's huge. Guys, I'm waiting for one more like, by the way, and we can go on to the analysis of this game. Just one of you. But yeah, dude, it's crazy because last season, these were the type of games that actually we would have lost maybe 2-0. We would have lost 1-0. Guys, this is Thiago Motta. This is the same guy who came to Napoli last Christmas with Spezia. We had 30 shots on target or on goal. We didn't score. And then they had one chance and we score an own goal in the first half and we lose the game. Own goal by Juan Jesus, by the way. So look at the similarities and the links there. These are games that last season we lost in very similar circumstances. And now, not only did we win, but we win after also getting... So we didn't lose, so that's already an improvement. We drew the game. We then were winning the game. Then they caught up, not because Spaletti or the team made a mistake, but a very individual mistake of Meret. They catch up, and that's hard mentally to then go back and win it one more time and to keep pushing for another goal after that. I think it's incredible what this team did. It's actually so impressive how he never looked gas. I think we're talking, says Dolls MJ, I think talking about Kvara. Sport TV 24 says, my friends, victory to Napoli, let's go. Vincenzo Bertillo says, Kvara Dona for Ballon d'Or. Guys, honestly, Kvara is the best player in the world right now. I'm just going to say it. He's the best player in the world. He's been the best player in the world for the last 2 months. He might not win the Ballon d'Or because they have to judge it based on a whole 12 months. And he's pretty unlucky that he was playing in Russia and Georgia before, and no one can really assess his performances there. But, I mean, if he keeps this up for the next year, yeah, for sure he will be Ballon d'Or worthy. Anyways, we do have the 100 likes that we were aiming for as a minimum. As a minimum, guys. This is just to get started, the analysis. So let's go. I promised you guys something. Let's go ahead and do it. So, all right. Let's take a look at the first goal. And, I mean, not the first goal, the first chance that we had. And this is a very, very similar situation. I don't know if you guys remember Osimhen's goal, but this is a very similar situation to Osimhen's goal in the second half, where Kvara finds a pocket of space and then the attacker runs in between the defenders with Kvara giving him a first-time pass. Very, very similar situation, and it goes back to Spalletti saying, you got to play where the space is, and currently the space is exactly where Kvara is, and then behind the defenders where Raspadori is going, and Napoli do find that space, but Raspadori, maybe it's because it's his weaker left foot, just drags that shot a little wide, but impressive play by Napoli, and Kvara could have had a very early assist here. Then another time when Napoli attacked the space really well. This time it's Kvara on the ball. Mauro Rui makes an overlapping run. Kvara, very unselfish today, gives the ball to Mauro Rui. But Mauro Rui, look at that. Instead of squaring it to Giacomo Raspadori, instead Mauro Rui goes for goal and misses the target completely, actually, which is a bit of a shame. Next, another time that Kvara has the ball. Very unselfish, yet again, picks out another great pass, this time for Politano, who makes a great run. Again, there's so much space in the area where Politano is going towards, and we just play the ball into the space behind the defenders, right? And look at that space that Politano has. He has all the time in the world to pick a spot, keep the ball low, and he just Politano, what were you doing? This is a bad miss. This is a really, really bad miss by Politano. Anyways, then we get to the goal that Bologna score, and I want you guys to take a look at Lobotka's and Juan Jesus' position, right? So one of the Bologna players passes the ball back, okay, and at this point, Juan Jesus and Lobotka are behind that player, right? So that player, it's hard for him to make a run in behind us. What happens in the next second? As soon as that ball is played, both Lobotka and Juan Jesus jump ahead of that player. That's a big mistake. You can have one of them do that, Lobotka ideally, because he's a midfielder. Juan Jesus needs to stay back. He needs to cover the space, guys, because look at what Bologna does. Immediately, they play the ball in behind that space, right? And you've got Juan Jesus, who's already beaten before the ball is even played. That's a huge, huge, huge mistake. This player has time on the ball, passes it back, and Bologna score a goal, right? But the key here is that something went wrong defensively with our movement defensively. So I hope you guys are appreciating this. I know you guys are like super into this analysis, and you're like, wow, Dom, can't believe he's able to do this as he's watching the game and go live 5 minutes after the game ends. Yeah, exactly. So smash that like button, guys. I know you're enjoying this. Smash it. Really, I appreciate it if you do, and it helps out a lot. So I'm serious, guys. Do it. Anyways, then Juan Jesus, talk about experience. This is the difference, I think, between some of the young players and some of the experienced players. Experienced players he knows he's made a mistake, but he just moves on. And he's the most active guy in the penalty box like 5 minutes later. And the corner comes in. Medel doesn't read the flight of the ball very well, lands on his foot awkwardly, and first to react this time is Juan Jesus. So he gets a goal, and all of a sudden you start to think, hey, last year Thiago Motta came to Naples and Juan Jesus got an own goal. We lost the match. This time, he's also kind of responsible for the goal, but hey, now he's made up for it. So, are things going to be a little different this year? Who knows? Let's see some of the comments, guys. Let's see. Kvara is top 5 right now. I still believe Neymar is on top, says Papa. Debatable. Sport TV 24 Timor says Osimhen, deadly striker. Yeah, he's so deadly. For me, Kvara, Haaland, and Mbappe are the future, says ZA. I think the only player that is playing as good as Kvara right now is Haaland, and potentially better than Kvara right now. But I mean, the service that he gets is incredible. So it's kind of like he's cheating right now. Zik also says the only reason we won is because Osimhen scored. Kvara did well, but the chance could still be missed. I mean, now we're talking hypotheticals. Like, we could have lost if he didn't score. Well, that tends to be the case with every single game, right? If we didn't score, we would have not won. Yeah, you don't say. You got to score to win. Anyways, I'm kidding. I'm not making fun of you. Username says Haaland wasn't that good against Liverpool today. I actually don't know what Liverpool did. I was watching Barcelona. I was watching a bunch of stuff. What happened? Oh, Liverpool won. Yes. Let's go. So yeah, I'm between Liverpool and City. I like Liverpool more. Let's move on. Let's stay focused on Napoli. Right. So speaking of Kvara, he's incredible. I mean, he gets the ball here for Napoli's second goal. He gets the ball, goes past Medel. I mean, Medel is so experienced, so tough physically, and he gets past him like he wasn't there. Attracts 2 other players. Doesn't matter. Takes a shot on. Skorupski makes a great save, and you've got Osimhen, who's this is the difference between Osimhen and maybe Raspadori, is that Osimhen just attracts so much attention onto him. Look at how the defender is keeping Osimhen so at bay, and then just leaves Lozano free behind him. And him and the defender have a little bit of a scrap. The ref doesn't blow his whistle, thankfully, and Lozano is there to capitalize. And now that's his second goal in a row, or maybe third. Is it his third goal in a row? Yeah, it's his third goal in a row for Lozano. So Lozano's in form right now. Incredible stuff from him, and he just brought a lot of energy today, him and Osimhen. And then we get to the goal, the 2-2, right? Things are starting to look really well for Napoli, and then this shot from out of nowhere. No way Barrow should be able to score from there, from 30 yards out. But the ball bounces right in front of Meret, and it goes in. But guys, I mean, are we sure we can blame Meret? I mean, take a look at the gloves he was wearing. I don't know if you can blame the guy. I don't know if you can blame the guy that the ball went right through his hands, right? I mean, we got to do something about these new Nike gloves, guys, because I don't know, but this ain't it for me. Guys, go follow my meme page, Official Napoli Talk on Instagram. I know it's not been super duper active recently, but every once in a while I do throw a meme here and there, so go follow. There's a lot of you guys that follow the YouTube channel and the Twitter, but for some reason it's like y'all don't have Instagram. I know you have Instagram. I know you do. Go follow. So yeah, guys, I want you to smash the like button, subscribe, follow all these things. I want you to do everything. All right, I'm being very needy today. But yeah, so that's a picture of Meret and his gloves. Anyways, let's go back to the game, right? Let's be serious again, because the YouTube is a serious bit. So let's talk at least this part of the show. I wanna be serious when I talk about this. So we've got, at this point in time, we've got 2-2, Zielinski with the ball, and I want you guys to look at where the space is. And why do I keep saying space? Because Spaletti last week made an interview where he said football nowadays is not about formations, it's about finding the space and exploiting it. And for me, in this picture, there's two areas of the field that have space, and I've highlighted them there, and it's similar to the first chance that Raspadori had. One of them is in between the lines, and one of them is in between the center backs. And that's exactly the space that Napoli goes and exploits. Zielinski, through pass to Kvara. Kvara immediately towards Osimhen. What a pass, what move, and what a finish by Victor on his weaker left foot. This is a harder chance than some of the other ones that he's missed in recent game, between this game and last game. But he's a deadly striker. He's always gonna have at least a few chances a game because of his movement, because of his energy, because of his speed, and I'm just very, very happy he made the most of it here. Let's see some comments, guys. Let's see some comments. Let's go read what you have to say about this. Liverpool win is not good for us. We have to play against them still, says ZA. Yeah, but I think it is good. I think it is good that Liverpool win, because I don't want them to go play against us as if this is their only chance to keep. Because think about it, if they had lost today, they would have put at risk their top four. So the only way for them to get Champions League football next year would be to win the Champions League, which means they would go super all out against us. But now, I think they've recovered. That's a good game against Man City. It's a good result. Now they're kind of back into that top four race, I think, in my opinion. Still far, but still in it. So, a bit less pressure about them having to win the Champions League to still be in the Champions League next season, even though winning the Champions League is like many, many months away. But, it's I don't know if it matters for the Napoli game, but it could be one less bit of motivation for them. I still think that Napoli are going to be able to get a result. And even if they don't, I still think we're going to finish first, because I think the goal difference is just way too much for Liverpool to recover anyway. So I don't think it really matters. But let's see first against Rangers what we do. Guys, I'm super happy, by the way, that there's a lot of you guys connected, a lot of you guys commenting, a lot of you guys smashing that like button. Guys, thank you so much, by the way. Let's see. Username says, I feel like Kvara's progressing 1 year per game. His game today is completely different from his first games at the start of the season. That's an insane improvement. Yeah, that's so true, man. I love the way you said that. It does feel like that at times, that we see such huge leaps in Kvara. Like, this is not the same player of 1 month ago. 1 month ago, he was very rough on the ball. He had a very low dribbling percentage, successful dribbling percentage, right? I think there was a stat after 3 or 4 games that he was like the worst in the league about successful dribbles, because he tried so many at the wrong time. Now he's picking and choosing when to do a dribble as opposed to when to pass it. He's also not shooting at every opportunity, but now he's finding the right passes. So it's a huge improvement, guys, and his movement is incredible. I just love the player. I loved him ever since April, when I first saw a few videos about him, and I immediately had to make a video about him back in April. I just love the player. He's incredible. Yuban says, do you guys really think Adiele is going to sell now? I honestly don't think that that's something that he would do at this moment in time. So probably not. Giancarlo Bocchetti says 14 matches for Napoli, 42 goals scored. This is quite impressive. Yeah, is it 3 goals per game? Is my math right? Yeah, it's 3 goals per game, exactly. 3 goals per game over 14 matches is unreal. Unreal. It's not 3 goals per game in 2 matches. Okay, every team can score 3 goals twice in a row. No, 14? 14 matches? Are you kidding me? It's insane. Anthony Navarro says, I think what Napoli need to start doing now is getting clean sheets again. This is going to separate us from the other big teams in Italy. That's true. We still do need to work defensively a little bit. We have been conceding a lot of goals, more than last year. So, yeah, we need to work on the balance slightly. Antonio Toni says, sei napoletano? Sì, sono napoletano, ma vivo fuori. Javier Miguel says, Osimhen, 596 minutes, 5 goals. That's basically 1 goal every 120 minutes. I'm doing a lot of math. You guys are now making it easy for me today, but keep it coming. 120 minutes, 118.8 to be more precise, probably. Yeah, that's actually more precise. Anyways, yeah, that's crazy. That's 1 goal, every. I already said it, every 100. Whatever. I'm repeating myself. That's a lot of goals. That's a good little trend that he has. That's gonna be the equivalent of about 30 goals per season. So it's good. It's good. How would you get Simeone in the match, Dom? Yeah, I mean, look, there's only so many players that can play in a game. We have 5 subs now compared to a few years ago. So actually there's a bit more chance for people. But I think what Spaletti was going for today was players that could attack the space. So Lozano and Osimhen are the 2 players that do that the best. So he just got unlucky. I think actually, if anything, Simeone should have started the game. I think this was more of a Simeone game than a Raspadori game, because Bologna are a super physical team. And I think that Simeone would have done a bit better at the crosses, at muscling around the Bologna defense. So I think, and I know Spalletti knows that he screwed up. He knows he screwed up with Raspadori today because he took Raspadori off at 45 minutes. He knows that. He also knows that he screwed up with Politano, because these are the type of games when teams play with so many players in the back that you need that player that likes to go inside the box and creates a bit of chaos. And I think Lozano is slightly better at that than Politano. I think Politano is better at playing around the box rather than inside it. Yeah. Antonio Toni says, pensi che Osimhen resta in banca nel futuro. So he's basically asking me if Osimhen, if I think he's gonna stay. Yeah, I think he's gonna stay. I like Ndombele, but sometimes he looks lazy. And goddamn, I missed Anguissa. I love that guy. Yeah, so Ndombele, guys, I mean, I think there was a point where he lost 2 or 3 times the ball in the first half, and it was in kind of dangerous situations, and it allowed Bologna to kind of gain some confidence, to gain some meters, and I think that's what led to the goal. I don't think it was directly from a Ndombele missed pass, but it just happened to come after 2 or 3 missed passes by Ndombele that Bologna started to get some momentum. So we've got to be really careful with Ndombele at times. He shows a lot of potential, but he's still rough. Kube says, funny thing is, first place in Group B is Brussels, and second will be Atletico or Porto. Yeah, Club Bruges is playing really well in the Champions League. A bit random as a comment, but yeah. Fish in Broth says, I back us against Liverpool. City, whoever, regardless. And Papa says, I agree about Ndombele. So let's move on with a little bit more of the analysis, guys. So, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Lozano being this kind of like crazy guy in the middle of the field. Same like Osimhen, right? In the middle of the box, sorry. He just gets to the end of crosses. Is not the most refined player. Neither is Osimhen. They don't score every chance they get. They're not like clinical, but you're gonna get chances, right? Chances with them that wouldn't be chances with other players, because those players wouldn't be in those positions. They've got great sense of positioning, these two guys, and getting to the end of things. So and this was a great save by Skorupski. And then finally, guys, there was one final scare in the game, and this was Alex Meret coming out for a corner, completely missing the ball, and thankfully nothing happened. We got saved, but again, it's not Meret's fault, right? If we go back, I mean, these were the gloves that he was wearing, so we can't be too harsh on Meret. You can only do what you have at your disposal, with the tools you have at your disposal, right? By the way, guys, is this light like way too strong? Should maybe like that. I think that's a little better. I think it was in my eyes a little too much. I think that's nicer. Let me know. You guys gotta let me know these things, right? Gotta let me know if I don't look good. Anyways, here are the player ratings. So 3-2 for Napoli. I'm going to start off with Spaletti. I'm going to give Spalletti an 8 out of 10. Why is that? All right. I think he screwed up with Raspadori and Politano in the first half. I don't think this was the right game for them. I think this was much more of an Osimhen or Simeone and Lozano type of game. However, I do want to reward the fact that he immediately understood his mistake and made the double change at halftime. That takes so much courage to do. And other coaches would probably make that same substitution on the 60th minute. Spalletti did it at 45 minutes, and we got a goal within the first 5 minutes of the half with those two guys. Those two guys got the goal for us, so they each get an 8.5 out of 10. I think they were super, super good. The only reason why they don't get man of the match is because Kvara today was football. He was incredible. Just his dribblings, his sense of positioning, his passing, just beautiful to watch. I love this kid. I love this kid. So yeah, he's getting a 9 out of 10. If he had scored, this would have been a 10 out of 10 performance. And I don't give those very often. Raspadori, 6, not because he's a bad player, not because he played bad, it just wasn't his type of game today. And Politano, he gets a negative score because he missed a very, very important chance and really put us in a really bad position, because after he missed that chance, Bologna scored. So guys, remember, a 6 out of 10 is a very average performance. It's like you didn't play bad, but you didn't play good either. It was just you occupied the field, and it was neither hot nor cold. Anything below a 6, then you start getting into the red zone, which is you kind of negatively influence the game, right? So Politano kind of negatively influenced the game. Meret really badly influenced the game. And if your mistake is a super bad mistake for the result of the game, so if we had drawn the game 2-2 or potentially lost the game, Meret would have gotten a 2 or a 3. To get a 0, you really need to proactively take the ball and score an own goal. Because people have asked me before, oh, why don't you give this guy a 0 or 1? Dude, that's you literally just take the ball numerous times and just keep scoring own goals. We gotta have that range included there, because it could happen, right? So, but yeah. So I hope to never give people a 0 or a 1. That'd be serious. Zielinski 8.5. I thought he was amazing today as well. He hit the crossbar. We didn't get a chance to put in the analysis because the analysis would have been too long, but he hit the crossbar. Great passing. He was instrumental for the third goal. Picked out the pass for Kvara, who then passed it to Osimhen. I just really love Zielinski this season. Huge improvement from last season. Huge improvement. Lobotka 8. Great game as well. 8 is great, by the way. Great game. Again, not his absolute peak, so it's not an 8.5 or a 9 but a great game. And Ndombele 6, because he had some very good moments, some nice flicks, some nice passes, but then again, sometimes you just felt like we were playing with 10 players. Just nowhere to be found on the field, or lost the ball in tricky situations, which allowed the other team to gain some momentum. And it was a little bit remember when we played against Ajax and they scored immediately as the second half started, and it was kind of because Anguissa wasn't feeling too well, so he couldn't maybe cover as much ground, couldn't really help defensively, and Ajax took advantage of that and scored. I kind of felt like it was like that when Bologna had this first goal, where it was kind of because the midfield wasn't really there to cover, and it allowed Bologna to kind of get into the game. And when you allow teams to get into the game, they might score, right? So 6 for him. I thought the defense, they were good. Kim, amazing game as well. He tackled great a few times. Juan Jesus, I'm giving him a 7.5. I know Payman Dadgar earlier commented and said he had a bad game, and he did for the majority of the first half, but I also felt like he was instrumental in us getting this win because he got us the goal at the end of the first half, and also after that I think he played well in the second half. Di Lorenzo I think did good, could have passed the ball for one of the chances that he had. He could have passed it to Osimhen, but I thought he did. I think the wingers this year are doing amazing. They're running so much, guys. I don't have it in me to give them a bad score just because of the amount of running that they're doing. The other subs, they came on and they did well. They did well. They contributed. They did their thing. They kept the score at 3-2. So I'm happy with their performance as well. Let me see what you guys have to say about it. Anthony Navarro says, I called it with Meret 4.5. Yeah, you know me, man. That's what happens when you follow Napoli Talk for, what is it now, 2 years that Anthony's been here, one of the OGs. My man, I'm glad you're in the chat. Dom doesn't love me today, but I love him always, says Anthony. Why? I swear. Oh, because I didn't read a few of his comments. I'm going to proactively now go through the chat and go look at Anthony's comments because he's an OG and he deserves it. Meret, because of his 4.5 rating today, Dom, if you have anything more than this, I got to stop the live today. So, okay, we got him a 4.5, like you said. You can calm down now. Anthony also says, I think what Napoli need to do is getting clean sheets. Yeah, I've been reading your comments. I literally went through and I already read that. So, hey, don't hate me like that anymore. Levan Kvaratskhelia, I want to get his opinion because he donated before. Says, I said it before, Osimhen should play all important games. With Kvara, he will be more suitable. Only thing is he needs to watch out to not be offside. Yeah, he does need to watch out for that. And actually, the Di Lorenzo opportunity where he took a shot instead of passing to Osimhen. I think maybe Osimhen would have been offside there, so maybe Di Lorenzo actually did the right thing. But this is a very interesting point that Levan is saying, that this year maybe Osimhen will be more important in big games, because actually we have a different team. We have Kvara playing on the left, and maybe that will allow Osimhen to score in the big games, because last year he didn't score in any of the big games. But things are a little different now. We've got a player that can beat his man, that's going to attract more players than, for example, Insigne did, and that could free up some space for Osimhen. So who knows? I mean, we've got the first real test against Roma where we can have the possibility of Kvara and Osimhen, because when we played against Milan, Osimhen was injured, right? So we couldn't play that combination, but now we could really try that and see if it works. By the way, guys, we have a few super difficult games coming up. We've got Roma. Okay, then, Champions League football. Rangers should be the more easy game. Sassuolo. Some of you guys that are maybe new to watching Napoli should know that Sassuolo is not an easy game for us. We always lose points against Sassuolo. Every team has that one team that they're scared of playing. For me, it's all 19 of the other teams, but particularly Sassuolo. And why am I scared of all 19 teams? Because Napoli can always find a way to screw things up, and they have shown that to me in recent years. But Sassuolo, I fear that team, guys. We've got Liverpool, Atalanta, which is also super important. And after that, we've got, I think the next 3 or 4 games might be Inter and Udinese, and these are all teams that are doing extremely well at the moment. So that's also something to watch out for. Fish and Broth says own goal and then a red card, so they can't even sub you off is a 0. Yeah, exactly. That's the spectrum, right? 10 is like, wow, you smashed it. Like you can't have done anything better. You scored 5 goals and all that. And 0 is like own goal, red card, and yeah. So yeah, I think that's happened actually in some games for some players. So that's why that exists as a possibility. Right. Mast says, I wonder if Insigne will come on loan to Napoli in the future. Oh my God, why are we even talking about that? But let me finish his comment. It says, doesn't the MLS season end so they can play 4 to 6 months overseas? Bro, the only reason we're playing so well right now is because we don't have Insigne. It's literally the only reason. Insigne, the problem that he had, apart from attitude, was I think he didn't fit the vibe of people like Lozano and Osimhen who like to play very fast football, one-touch football. And Insigne loved to take the ball, cut inside, a few touches. And I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying it didn't quite fit the quick passing that Osimhen kind of needed at times. Not to say that it was like completely not working, because I know some of you are going to start sending me now compilations of Insigne assist with Osimhen goal. I'm just saying I like this Kvara thing a little bit more. And then, the whole attitude thing is a separate thing. I mean, Insigne signed for Toronto in early November last season with this whole season still to go. You can't have your captain do that. The captain needs to be 100% in it. But anyways, I talked about Insigne so many times, I don't want to go over it again. Shmuel M is saying 0 is Sporting's keeper against Marseille. Yeah, dude, that game was, oh my God. I saw the highlights of that game. That was unreal what he did. Just so many mistakes. So many. I think they need to investigate whether that was match fixing. And if you guys haven't seen that game, then go see Sporting Marseille. The first game more than the second one, because they played twice due to the Champions League, a bit like we did with Ajax. Anthony says, technically Juan Jesus last year versus Empoli could have had a 0, but I think you gave him a 2 or a 3. Yeah, I think I gave him a 2 or 3 just because Meret did worse in that game. So yeah. Or maybe you're talking about Juan Jesus versus Spezia, who scored an own goal, but he didn't get a red card, right? So, anyways, ZA says we need to sell Elmas, which is an interesting comment, but I kind of see where you're coming from, bro. I see it. I understand it. He's way too good to be on the bench. It's just unlucky that he's, you know, I think he'd be a starter in any of the other Serie A teams. He's just unlucky that Napoli have such a good midfield, such a good left wing right now. It sucks for his development that he's on the bench. So for his own sake, he should probably think about moving. There was a bit of a situation over Instagram this week with him replying to some fans. Basically, he posted a picture on his stories about, you know, my biggest love, and in parentheses, the bench, and it's like him walking past the bench. And yeah, some people were like, hey man, take that down. And Elmas was like, hey man, shut up, and all that stuff. So not really that good for him to be involved with that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. It happens. Players like that though shouldn't be interacting with fans that way. Anyways, I wanna just take a look at some of the stats for this game, right? 30 shots. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, a lot of fouls from Bologna. 10 fouls against 6 for us. 4 yellow cards for Bologna. Yeah, it was 10 fouls of the ones that the ref called, because he didn't call everyone. And this is the table right now. I just want to show you guys the table. Napoli 10 games, 26 points. Atalanta are keeping up. They're within touching distance right now with 24 points. Milan are also only 3 points behind if they keep winning their game. They're winning currently 1-0 against Hellas Verona, who, by the way, look at them. They're struggling. And what did I say about Verona? Some of you guys were following me on Twitter before the season started, and I was in a live space with people, and I was saying, hey guys, Napoli is not going to be as bad as you all say, because we don't know what this Napoli team... Everybody's going to say, oh, this Napoli team sucks. I'm like, how do you know? Have you ever seen Kvara play? Have you seen Kim play? You don't know. What I did know was that Verona was going to struggle, and that I thought that they were going to get relegated. And I said that because a lot of their players left and all that, and just seems to be like... Seems like I'm right. They might not get relegated, but so far, really haven't impressed with only 5 points. And I'll be so happy when they do get relegated. I really don't like that team. But yeah, we play Roma. We play Sassuolo. Sassuolo are on the top half of the table. Torino, look at Torino's form, guys. Take a look at that. They started the season pretty well, the first 3 or 4 games, and now look at that. 4 losses out of the last 5. That's crazy. What's going on there? They lost against Juventus, obviously us, Sassuolo. Okay, they had some tough games. Look at that for Torino, guys. Inter, Napoli, Juve, Sassuolo. Yeah, not easy. But yeah, let's go back to us. And actually, let's look at some recent results, right? Let's see what the other teams did. All right. Oh, look at that. You can't be serious, right? Right when I'm talking about Verona going down, they're so bad. They go and they draw against Milan. They score a goal. I can't believe how much I jinx teams at times, and I just jinxed Milan so hard. I jinxed them so hard. I'm not even mad. This is Milan losing points. I'm all for it. I think I did that. I did that a few times last week as well. I literally tweeted about a few teams, even about us, and the next minute the results changed. So, guys, if we want something to be changed, I just gotta say it. I just gotta say the opposite, and hey, we want to end racism. I just gotta tweet something about it, and it probably ends. Hey, Verona are gonna get relegated. Boom, they score against Milan. Hey, Napoli are playing bad. Boom, we score a goal. That's just the way things work, right? Maybe I'll say like, hey, I'm so poor right now, and then I get like $1 million just appear in my bank account. I wish it worked that way. That every time I just say something, the opposite happens. That'd be amazing, amazing. Emilio says, not a fan of Ndombele at all. Keep Elmas. Gaetan says, Osimhen made the same Elmas joke with offside. Yeah, exactly. This is just like players having fun, right? And it's so stupid that that our fans themselves are then going and like messaging them like, hey, take this down, it's not cool. It's not cool that the fans don't get the joke, and then it's not cool though that the players respond so negatively to these fans, because then it blows up over Twitter, and then just it's not cool. Cube wants me to say something, but I don't have it in me to say it. I can't. But I did say against Cremonese last week, I was like, man, we're really struggling. and then Napoli score. So Antonio Mascolo says, hey Dom, how are your studies going? Today Osimhen showed great determination. Forza Napoli sempre. Yeah, studies they're going. It's a lot of work, guys. But you know, I got this. And he says that Osimhen today showed great determination. Yeah, he comes on, and I think if our level of energy is here, he just brings that up super high. I think Elmas better plays a number 10. I think he should have started today with Ndombele and Lobotka as holding midfielders, says Anthony. Yeah, I do want to see Elmas. I think he deserves to start ahead of Ndombele, Elmas. I don't know why Spaletti is putting Ndombele more than Elmas. I think Elmas has more credit, with Napoli. Like he should make his past time at Napoli should influence whether or not he plays more than Ndombele or not. But it seems like Spalletti's not really taking that into consideration that much. I want to know who scored for Verona, by the way. Gunter, man. Jeez. Imagine getting scored on by Gunter. Milan is done, bro. He's done. He's a defender. Look at that. He's left center back. Milan got scored on by a left center back. That's a little sad. Yeah, Miguel Veloso, bro, scored an own goal for Verona. Basically, I think the summary of these past 30 minutes is probably just Verona does things, and Milan is just there watching. Like, I have no other explanation for this. Like, you must be just watching if Gunter scores against you. There's no other explanation. Like, you must not be doing anything. But hey, I don't know. I'm not watching the game, right? Plus, I don't even know Gunter, bro. I'm just making fun of this guy I haven't watched this guy play maybe like 3 times in my life. Anyways, and Ndombele's salary is 4 times higher than Kvara, says Cube. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's so crazy how that thing works. But I'm sure Kvara is gonna get a nice little contract renegotiation very, very soon. Napoli need to do that to scare off some of the other teams. They can't just keep him on $1 million a year. But right now, like, performance to salary ratio, Kvara is through the roof right now. Anyways, I think we can go to the final bit of the live, which is Spalletti press conference, right? Let's see. More than 4 times, I think, says Jamie Sant. So, Dulce MJ says maybe Verona can do more things. Yeah, hopefully they can do a little more, and hopefully that's not own goals, right? Anyways, let's go to Spalletti. Let's see what he had to say. Let me find some Spalletti quotes from today's game. Let me go find it. All right. And as you know, guys, I don't read like the whole interview because it's kind of long. and I translate from Italian to English as I'm reading, so it's not always the perfect translation. So don't quote me on some of these things, right? I mean, it's gonna be correct, but sometimes he might say the word content and I'll translate it to happy, because it's just the first thing that comes to my mind. So don't, because I've seen some guy like quote me on stuff and I'm like, that's not exactly what he said, but cool. Anyways, just want to put that disclaimer out there. So they ask him, there's a lot of goals that came from the bench today. This confirms the fact that you've got some really important players on your bench. Great question. Very insightful. And Spaletti says, I've got this thing covering my screen. Spaletti says, yep, it is that way. The starting 11 today of the second half. So let me rephrase that, because these are one of the things that you can translate from Italian to English, because in Italian you say the word titolari, and in English you say starting 11, and he says the titolari of the second half, but it wouldn't make sense to say in English the starting 11 of the second half, or does it make sense? I don't know. You can't really. Is it really starting? Whatever. You guys get what I mean. The players of the second half, which he also thinks are starters. I'm getting confused here. Made the difference. But yeah, we basically make choices based on what we think makes more sense during the game. And at that moment, it was fundamental to change something. We are the same players of last year. The number of players up top is the same as last season. What we are doing this year, we could have also done last season, but probably because those players last season had a more important past, it was more difficult, whereas with younger players, it is easier. Wow, that's a big quote that he's saying. He's basically saying that Insigne and Mertens were getting held back by having big egos, by past experiences and all that sort of stuff. So maybe Spalletti was saying, hey, I want you to do A, B, and C, and Insigne was saying, nah, bruh, I want to do C, D, E. Whereas now the players are doing exactly what Spalletti wants. So reading between the lines, I think that's what he means by that. So yeah, it's a crazy quote. I mean, he's saying a few things recently that are going and really, rubbing salt into the wounds of Insigne and Mertens, because I'm sure they're pretty wounded right now, seeing this Napoli team perform so well without them. But yeah, he's saying that this game he lived it in a very emotional way. We were very good to change the inertia of the game. They came at us in very dangerous situation at times, but we. Let me see what he says. Yeah. Basically, he was like, yeah, they came at us a few times. They had a very clear game plan. It hurt us at some points, but we managed to deal with it. We managed to overcome those difficulties. It was an extremely difficult game, like the ones against Spezia. The tifosi, the fans, they played their part. They gave the team a lot of energy. It was a great victory. And we did a lot of shots, so it's very nicely played. Compared to last year, you're starting to win these games. They ask him, and he says, last year I think we also won a lot of games. Obviously, you can win a few games at the dying minutes, like we did last season. These are things that happen throughout a season. But I think what we have a little differently this year is that we have a bit of more continuity with our attitude. There's a conviction and mentality that is different in this team. And they ask him though about some of the goals that we conceded, some of the errors that we made, and he says, Lozano entered into the game brilliantly. He immediately had a goal, and then he had 2 or 3 chances where he should have actually gotten closer to the goal, and so those were mistakes. He could have had a better chance at scoring. He made some mistakes in terms of analysis of the game. He's still a little immature in that regard in reading the game, but he put in a lot of dedication, and so that's good. And for the goals that we conceded, I think they scored a great goal. Then we've had 2 very intense months, and so 1 mistake in 2 months from Meret is not bad. It actually means we have a great goalkeeper. And he's basically mad at the journalists for pointing things out like that. And guys, we've seen other goalkeepers make mistakes. Magnan's made a few mistakes. Handanovic has made mistakes. Really, a lot of people had put their team at risk this season, and it's just a shame that whenever a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's just more memorable. Like the Politano miss, that was pretty huge too, but people are going to be talking about Meret's mistake, right? And it's unfair for a goalkeeper. How many points between Roma, Atalanta, and Udinese matches will you be satisfied with? Says Daniel Bowen. Oh, that's a tough one. I'll be satisfied with 7. I think. Yeah, I'll be satisfied with 7. I want to win against Atalanta and Udinese. I want to win against Roma as well, of course. I'd be okay with a draw at Roma. I'd be okay. If I had to pick 7 points, I'd rather win against Roma, win against Atalanta, and draw against Udinese, actually. It just means that we're taking more points off of Roma and Atalanta that way. If I'm going to lose points, I'd rather lose it against Udinese than Roma and Atalanta, right? You guys get that logic? Like, I'd rather give Roma 0 points than give them 1 during that game. But yeah, I mean, 7... I don't want to lose any game, so I'm not going to say 6. Am I going to be satisfied with 6, though? Am I going to be satisfied with... Nah, I'm not going to be satisfied with 6. Not this year. Okay, someone with, I'm assuming, a Korean name, which obviously I don't know how to read Korean, so I can't pronounce his name, says, Napoli's games is always fun. 100%. I 100% agree with you. They're wild. They're wild. Fun, sometimes they're stressful. Sometimes they're really stressful. So I'm not going to say fun is always the right word. But he says, yes, I'm from South Korea. Tell me your name, bro. Write it down. How do you pronounce it in English? I want to give you a name because I don't know how to read your name, bro. Anthony Navarro says, yes, 100% agree. Antonio also 100% agrees. 7 points. Masters, yeah, this game was stressful. Yeah, 100%, guys. This game was super, super stressful. And, just the Meret thing, it was, I thought that was it. I thought it was going to be one of those games after Meret made that mistake, but nope. Hello Meets Coffee is my nickname. Nice, cool. It's a very wholesome nickname. I love coffee. Basalio says, Liverpool played Harvey Elliott and Milner on left side today. Hope they will do that against Napoli in the Champions League. If they play Milner, we're going to take advantage of that so easily. Also, Harvey Elliott, I think they had a bad game against us, Elliott and Milner. I think Milner was way too old and slow, and Elliott way too young and inexperienced. So, yeah. David Allen says, offensively, the team is fun to watch, but defensive mistakes makes me nervous. Yeah, we got to improve on that. But it is a little bit, harsh to say that that we're bad defensively, like some comments were saying. I don't think we're bad defensively. It just, we can improve, like he said. Can we call you Cappuccino? Anyways, guys. Milner was playing right back, says Basalius. Yeah, Milner plays a bit everywhere. He can play left back, right back, midfield. The guy's a legend, by the way. David wants Tuanzebe back on loan. Guys, Tuanzebe was having a period where he was getting some game time, a little bit. Then the Fiorentina game happened where he screwed up a lot. Then I released the Hungry Hungry Hippos video, and I just ended his career with that. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Type Napoli Talk, Hungry Hungry Hippos. I know, it sounds as weird as... It is as weird as it sounds, but it's a fun video. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna have to head out. Not out. I'm gonna have to head out of the live and go back to studying. So... Yeah, I know, not fun. But anyways, guys, this was fun. This live was fun. The game was wild. Not fun, but wild. You guys were fun. And guys, thank you to everyone that joined the live. Thank you to everyone that smashed the like button. Everybody that subscribed. Thank you to everyone that will subscribe and smash the like button, because I know there's some of you that will end this video and smash that like button and subscribe. If you haven't gotten the hint, smash the like button and subscribe, and leave your comments below if you're watching this after it's live. And guys, have a great week, and as always, Forza Napoli sempre. Ciao.